Okay, so here we have an average speed problem that has a couple of different segments. If you want, pause the video, read it, and then we'll attack it. Okay, so here we go. The problem states that there's a student going from Garden Grove High School to UC Santa Barbara, and the distance between the two locations is 160 miles. The first leg of the trip, which is 110 miles, was covered at a rate of 70 miles per hour. And then the remaining distance, which was not given to you directly, is covered at a rate of 30 miles per hour. And part A asks us to find the time to go from Garden Grove to UC Santa Barbara. And then part B asks us to find the average speed of the whole entire trip. All right, so let's knock this out. So here's a little visual to help you as you practice this type of problem. Here is Garden Grove High School. Here is UC Santa Barbara. The distance between them was explicitly given to you as 160 miles. So let's go ahead and label that. Okay. And because there are two parts of this particular problem, the first leg is 110 miles and then the remaining leg at a rate of 30 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and set up two segments here in my work. On the left side, you got segment 1. On the right side, you got segment 2, indicating by using different subscripts here. So average speed for the first leg is simply the distance of the first leg divided by the time that it took to cover the 110 miles. And likewise on the right side. Average speed of the second segment is dictated by the distance during the second leg divided by the time that it took to cover the second leg. Okay, so let's go ahead and just label out some stuff so we can make this particular problem easy. So the first leg of the trip is 110 miles, that's indicated there in green. And then the remaining distance can be easily calculated just by using deduction here. The total distance is 160 miles. You already travel 110 miles, so the remaining distance would simply be the difference of these two values. So 160 minus 110, which is 50 miles. So by knowing this, and the problem gives us a lot of information already, we can just solve for T1 and T2. The reason we need to solve for T1 and T2 is because part A asks us to find the total time. So if we find T1 and we find T2, we can just sum those two values up and that would be our answer for part A. All right, so let's plug and chuck. The first leg, we know it was covered at a rate of 70 miles per hour, and that distance was 110 miles given to us. So the only unknown here is T1. And that's really easy to do. Likewise for the second leg, the rate was given to us as 30 miles per hour, and the distance was easily calculated by simply taking the difference between 160 and 110 miles of the first leg. So as you see here, left and right, in both these statements, you only have one unknown, a T1 and a T2. So just make sure you do your algebra carefully here. To solve for T1, you want to go ahead and multiply both sides by T1 at the same time. Divide both sides by 70. So if you do that properly, you should get this statement that just came up. And if you reduce it, you'll get about 1.57 hours. And the same algebra step can be calculated for the right side of the chart. And T2 should come out to be about 1.67 hours. So therefore, to answer part A, to find the total time, simply take T1 plus T2, and those two values should add up to give you about 3.24 hours. Okay. Part B, super easy to do. To calculate the average speed for the whole entire trip, well, we need the whole entire distance and the whole entire time. So this one is light work. The total distance is given to us initially in the statement, which is 160 miles, and using the answer to part A, which is the total time that it took to go from Garden Grove to Santa Barbara, which is 3.24 hours, and then calculator time, punching a calculator, you should get about 49.38 miles per hour. So this particular problem is pretty straightforward. All right, I hope that helps.